Welcome to Stop Now, a social experiment enterprise where we stop, listen, and share. I am Nate. I am one of your hosts, and we have a great episode of our talk show this week where we're going to be getting some updates on our experiment that we've been running. But before we get into that, we've got a few guests here this week, as well as the man behind the mask, the man behind the curtain. JK is here with us as always. JK, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Nate. Hope everything is fine with you. And the week is getting exciting as we move forward on this. And as you said, we have two wonderful gentlemen, Ram and Sundar. He goes by Gupta. And they both have been behind the scene for the last 2 months with us. And I just wanted them to also give an update on what they have been doing, what is their experience, and something interesting has happened with Ram's project. So I just wanted to hear from them before we jump on to this week's show. I don't want them to be waiting for us to keep proceeding with our projects. Ram, Sundar, welcome. Are you guys there? Are you able to hear us?
Yeah, hi. Hi, Mike.
How are you? The person you both have not met was Nate. And I know Sundar was doing some work on Nate's profile as well. So this is a surprise thing. You guys have not been told. We are just making some kind of trial recording. So don't feel awkward. Feel free to share your experience.
Hello, Gupta. Hello, Ram. Good to meet
Hi,
you guys.
Nate. Glad to meet you.
Hi, Nate.
Yes. So what's been going on with the experiment?
Yeah, I'm actually handling the Intuit project, and it's actually going a bit okay. And along with that, I'm also working with your profile, and I'm just trying to get some attend some interviews and get something onboarded. And also, I'm working with Ram, JK, and Shiva to have a different zone of business into Stop Now. So trainings and other projects also.
Again, I appreciate that. Thank you for that, Nate. And take a pic. We have to shave his head and want him to look like Nate.
Yes.
Whole idea of this.
Shave the head and.
But he is younger than you, that's for sure.
And as long as he doesn't get fired like I did in the previous experiment, JK.
That was my fault. I will take the blame. I was blaming Shiva, and obviously I don't have to speak bad about him. Left and he went back to India. Sorry, for his family emergency. So he might join back us later. But we both were struggling. We messed it up. And that's the reason we onboarded few other people and also Amar. And luckily we got Sundar and Ram. So that way we were able to successfully go through for the last 3 months. It was a roller coaster ride for me, going and meeting with them on a regular basis. I just want to ask Ram, what happened, Ram? So Shiva might be really good right now. So tell me, how was your project and how did it end?
Yeah, okay. So, I Nate. So myself, Ram. So I've been handling the RRC project. So it went well last 2.5 months. So suddenly the billing got stopped for certain period. So we thought of to take a break for 2 days. So I took up a break for 2 days. So once I resumed back to work, I faced so many face challenges from the people, and I got so many reactions from the people as well when I log in back. But even last 2 weeks, I not been provided any work as well. And whatever things I've been doing, it's been pulled out from me. But suddenly yesterday, yesterday Siva got an mail to surrender the RRC laptop. But I'm not sure. Is it something they took up a decision or they were because the work order also not it signed out. I believe it's been postmarked to November or December. I believe So I'm not sure what they felt. They felt I'm not replaced to anywhere for the particular project. That could be reason, but it was surprise to me as well because on day before itself I've been taking some session as well with the senior leaders as well. But suddenly it was surprising on last Friday.
Yeah, you have to relax. I mean, you look very tensed, and
Yeah.
also you are outside. You're not prepared for this show. That's okay. Again, we knew this, right? So Ram and
Yeah.
like we wanted to know, just to give context to Nate as well, because Nate, we never knew that like we were going to go this far, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The last 3 months with the state of Texas client, right? And it was a surprising thing, as Ram was mentioning. We tried to, he was working from India almost, I was stunned. A whole night he was working, right? For 8 hours of the shift. He was working with the state client project, and they were not running the project at all. It has nothing to do with his fault or somebody's fault. They were trying to drag this out so far. And as he mentioned, right, people react so differently and online, not able to meet them in person in office. So that's where like they just took I don't know what made them to suddenly drop him off because he was doing good. I was also tracking like how the progress was. I was on a regular basis checking with them. It was a surprise for us altogether when they said, just like yours. In the morning, they just called and said like, oh, today afternoon is your last day, return your laptop and sign off.
Wow.
And before we asked the question, the vendor asked us, what happened? What exactly happened? Why did they fire you? And we said like, oh, come on, you have to tell. And this is exactly what the contracting business is taking advantage of. They are not even having the courtesy to explain to the candidate, all right? So they have to inform him saying that like, okay, for some reason, right, the project order, work order is not signing, or your performance is not good. We didn't expect, you are not meeting our expectations, so we are letting you go. It has to come from them, the managers with whom we work, right? There is no human to human connection, right? Just backstabbing on the back. Okay, you are a different contractor, so I will inform your employer or contractor. That's it. You get out. That's a cruel way of dealing this. So that is why like we wanted to do this experiment and expose all these things. Again, Ram and Sundar, thank you so much. It has been a wonderful meet. Again, we are going to continue with this. I don't want to hold you both longer on this session. If you want to hang out and ask any questions, feel free to do that. But if you have to drop off, you're fine to do. Before that, like Nate, if you have any questions for them, please feel free to ask.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you guys for doing the experiment and also for joining us this week to talk about it a little bit. But I guess my big question would be, was there something that surprised you during this process, during the application process, or maybe during the project phase? Was there something that surprised you about how this all worked?
Yeah, this actually looks totally different for us because we have never seen this kind of recruitment process altogether. So first of all, there are a lot of people we discuss for the same project. So the meetings are also not organized. Even when it comes from a company, it is not coming as an organized meeting invite. So for the same interview, we get 2 meetings at a time sometimes. So that becomes a problem, and we are not also getting an update properly, and it becomes a confusion. Like 2 or 3 people speaks on the same project, and no, they both doesn't have coordination. Like they don't know what they are doing. Like so, one person is both are asking us what is the update. So the interview process is like that, and even in the project, like it is not like a regular employment, I believe. So they suddenly come up with an escalation. So that is not happening on a weekly basis or daily basis. They are not checking what our progress is and what we are doing. They just leave it as it is for 2 or 3 months, and suddenly they come up with an escalation. We are not aware what wrong we did. So that is, even we are trying to keep in touch with everyone and discussing with them what need to be done on a daily basis, but still they keep quiet for some time and suddenly they come up with an escalation. So these are all new things for us. So just understood how this works. So might be able to handle this in future.
Any comments from you?
Yeah, best surprise for me is, so there is a day I approached my manager, Swapna. So I asked for what is RRC doing and what's all about their background and what is the system they be using. But she told me like you have to search some internet and you have to learn about the company and everything. So okay, that's fine. I'll do it. It's company that I'll do it. But when I ask for the system, maybe you just give me the system access. I have to learn something. She asked me, why do you need a system? As a project manager, he doesn't require any system access. But it was surprising for me. I think as a project manager, I should know end-to-end end-to-end code for the particular project. But it's been denied. It's a crazy moment for me as well. Why they are denying to provide an access? It was a very critical moment for me as well to understand their application as well. So I go through all the document and understand their process, but even I don't get any shadowing point of application, whatever they're using from RSS. So that was a very surprising moment for me when they say no to get access to their system.
Yes, so you guys are going into technicalities of it, and I don't know how far you both have did a wonderful thing. You will be hailed as a heroes because you don't know what we are doing on the background and why we are doing this to expose this. But as such, right? So what do you both think that is it fair for the companies to treat whether they are contractors or employees like this, right? So whatever project you are working, you know that, right? Even TCS, Infosys, and Cognizant, all big companies are holding people like this, and we have been doing the project for how long, right? And they haven't paid us for the month of March. People are surprised, right? Why do they, when we say these things, of course, as an employee, you cannot protest and say, right? Immediately they will fire you and they'll say like, okay, they are moving ahead. So my take to you guys, right? You put hard work, and again, we are not going to exploit you. We are going to pay you both for the work you do. What is your take on these companies which are exploiting the human resources like this and not paying them on time? Obviously, they will pay us, right? If not, we will take them to the court. We know that like what happened with the Nate case as well, and they settled it at the later time. My question to both of you, right? What is your feeling, right? So how do you feel? Like, do you feel pressurized? Do you feel frustrated? Or you feel helpless? Okay, I can't do anything. This is how the world works, right?
The expert for individual is not from the RRC side, I would say, because we have to respect the people, and even the people don't have skill also, we have to respect their skills. Or they have to be respond to me and say, you have to do this job. When I approach this particular manager, they're not even responding me, and they not, because there's a difference between the employee and the contractor. I felt in this RRC side, because when I enter the meeting, the employees are speaking like their friends. But when the contractor people are entering to the meeting, they think like we are from the different zone or different country or different places. They see the difference as contractor and employee. So I felt it's a helpless for me, because I cannot go and treat like as an employee. I cannot go and ask like an employee, because if I am an employee, I have a right to ask all the system access and all the application access as well. But contractor, there is a restriction. I felt from the RRC side.
Sorry, Ram. Right. Again, your audio is not that clear, but probably I can let you go. Right. I don't want to trouble you much. What you said from your thing, the essence is there is certainly a discrimination. We all know that. Because of the contracting nature, and also the exploitation is they are not employees, they are contractors, but still, as you mentioned, we are not blaming all the Americans, right? The employees, and some of them are really good. They talk nice to us. they don't discriminate, but some who use this and manipulate it and exploit the contracting business, they treat us like in different ways. Like that is how like we are being targeted here, and we can't do anything about it. Anyway, it is wonderful to talk to you both. And we will continue. Sundar, my guess was you would have been the target, but you survived and you managed to do like a wonderful job. Like, and again, thanks to Ram as well, right? Remote accessing the system and completing like 600 to 700 links in few weeks. I was so surprised, Nate. So I would not have done as a manager. Like I know, like I wouldn't expect my co-workers or anyone to do in such a fast-paced manner. They did an excellent job, but in spite of it, like I'll play out that audio recording. Like I had a call with the Cognizant managers, and they were just, okay, client is the king. If the client says like you have to go, right? They are not happy with your performance. What's going on? Why you are not doing work? Come on, right? Be fair. You don't know what exactly is happening on the project. And then like they come back and say like, we will terminate your contract in just like in a day or in a week.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually their job. Whoever we are reporting to, they have to ensure that we are productive. So they have to see if there is any tasks assigned to us, and it's their job. But they don't do it on a regular basis. And suddenly, when someone questions them, they come up with an escalation. So that's a problem here. This week I don't have any task actually. I even spoke to all the people in the project. I tried to get some tasks, but none gave the task. So again, if it might become an escalation if I don't do anything for a week, and next week they'll check and see if anything can be done on this case.
You're right. So this is what happens, right? So they just pick and choose and do whatever they want. Like the surprise part, Sundar, to you is on the project, it's not even an actual project manager role. So it is like a support service technician kind of thing. And we have been struggling for almost 2 months, me and Shiva, like changing between whoever wants to join the calls. And we were trying to do it from February, March, April. And we just got fed up. And that's how like Shiva said, like, I'm going to India, family emergency. He wants to drop out of the project. He doesn't want to continue. And luckily, like Sundar joined and he took over. And he was able to manage for the last 2 months. So that was a fun thing, right? We never thought this is going to happen. But behind the scene, like in a way, they don't care. They just don't care about anyone. Right? All that is, as we talked about, Nate, it's all number game and how much they can make out of it. All that
I think the other person who joined in CTSC is getting a lot of tasks, so I could say he's doing tasks. But whenever I ask, I don't get tasks. Only the tasks that they can't do, they are actually pushing it to us. So whatever previously I used to take the ServiceNow task and I used to close, but after that they told don't do this task, go ahead and do the Google task. So now they are trying to push only the task that they can't do. So.
Yeah, certainly. Again, in this, we just did certain mistakes. I have to agree. Again, I have to excuse Ram on this as well, right? Ram, if you remember, like even for Sundar, right? So on both these projects, because of the delay in payment, we escalated it, right? We escalated it to the Cognizant and also to the client, RRC, right? If Ram remembers, we told the managers saying that like we are not getting paid. That is a trigger point for them, like to see through a different lens and terminate our contract. So they won't do it immediately, but over a period, I was guessing that was the reason. And we already told that like we are not a direct employee of any company that is representing us. I just don't want like to sound like we are doing something fraud, but all the companies that is doing fraud are not taken to the task. So I don't know how this is going to play out. And I want Amar to answer something because he has been doing quite well for the last 3 months, trying to recruit more people. What is your take on?
Before that one, I have a question to Sundar and Ram. So as they both played for the role of Nate or Shiva, so when they work, actually, did they ask you to both that turn on your camera, or did they suspect you that you are not the real person? Did it happen, Sundar or Ram?
No, that didn't happen. They asked to turn on the video. But nobody's question who's Nate. But even I turn on the video as well. I spoke to Nate as well. But yeah, it is not happened. But they asked me to show the proof as well. But I used to manage somewhat in the session.
Yeah, actually, most of them are video calls, so they are not questioning anything. So if we confidently say that I am Nate there, so they don't come up with the questions. So they just continue with that.
Okay.
Maybe they would have some questions in their mind, but they don't ask directly. So they might that might reflect in the results, but they don't ask anything in the call. So even I have attended few calls, but for different interviews, so they don't ask anything in the call. But after some time, when we are asking for the result, they'll just say we are passing it on. So that's how we work. Yeah, because we definitely know that we have done better, but when the results comes negative, then this might be the reason most of the times.
You just take a screenshot and just put it up when you're on the next call. Yes, of course, this is Nate.
Sundar, just on a funner note, right? Just for fun, I'm asking, can you talk like Nate? Oh.
Actually,
while you are giving interview.
Yeah, I was in sales project before, like 5-6 years. At that time, I used to try US accent, but after that, that was not necessary for me being in technical. So, so right now I have to start fresh if I need to speak like him.
You should set up like a training course, JK, where I can just how to talk like Nate.
That's a bit risky, Nate, because if we start trying to speak like you, then we'll forget our accent as well as yours. So
yes.
It becomes a collapse. Then we'll not be able to do anything.
It was a wonderful conversation to both of you. We are moving forward. Again, enjoy the weekend, Ram. Don't feel pressured. And you have another project, and Shiva has dropped out of the TCS project as well. And in a couple of weeks, if they agree, he might be given access remotely and they start working on that project, right? Nate, any final comments, thoughts, and closing your show?
Yes. Well, again, thank you to Ram and Sundar, and of course, Amer. Thank you for joining us as well today. And I think the thing that kind of clicked in my mind, JK, when you were talking about all the experiments, is just how long we've been doing the experiment here at Stop Now, and the various forms or versions of the experiment with the various people and the various team members. And it's fascinating. I think that, the stuff is still going on, and we're able to kind of expose this, and we're collecting data, and, we've gotten stories from people that have been victimized through this system. So I'm actually kind of surprised, JK, that we've been able to keep the experiment going for so long, and I'm excited to see where it kind of goes from here.
Yes, certainly, Nate. You are right. And also Shiva was waiting to see that result, because he wanted to publish those things, because Infosys is giving a hard time, even after terminating the contract for almost 4 months. They are not settling the payment through their vendor, and they just coming up with different excuses. And the surprise part is, like, why would a $1 billion company like Infosys hold somebody's payment and do all these things? We don't know. We are trying to understand that. And we will get to know more in the coming weeks. And hopefully we'll have more fun, enjoy our ride in this. Again, thank you, Amar, Ram, and Sundar.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Bye for now.